Hey everyone, it's Sarah here. Welcome back to another Paper Lane Press video. Today I am rounding out my back to school journal series. And if you're new around here or if you just haven't seen my last few recent videos, I've been sharing the process behind a few pages in my daughter's kindergarten school memory book, which is what I have right here. This is a book that I sell in my small online shop, and I will leave all the information for it down below. But today I'm closing this journal series loop and sharing a final flip through of how this came together. Now, if you've been enjoying the process videos in this series, I would love to know in the comments down below. I do still need to complete her preschool memory book, and I'm happy to film some process videos or maybe a longer compilation video putting it all together. But I would love your feedback, so let me know if that would be something that you are interested in. So let's go ahead and dive into the flip through. And since I've already talked about some of these pages in the process videos, I'm going to share just some overall reflections as I flip through. I've made some notes so I don't forget anything, so just bear with me here. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to share is just how much I loved putting this together. When I designed this journal, I started thinking about if it was going to be too restrictive not being able to build these pages from scratch. If you've watched my other videos here, then you know I spend a lot of time putting layouts together. This is probably the most structured format I've ever used. But with that being said, I still loved it. I'm still gonna be putting pages together from scratch in other projects because I do still love that process and using all the things, stamps, embellishments. I totally love it. But for something like this that I know needs to be sustainable year after year, I am so at peace with using a structured, easy to fill out format. And I found that there was still flexibility in the pages. So I was still able to use some stamps and think outside the format. I could have just left things how they were. I could have just filled in the boxes, put the photos where they needed to go, and that would have been awesome too. But I just love that there was still flexibility in the process. The other thing that I wanted to share was, and I wish I had video of this, but my daughter was so excited when she was flipping through this journal. So she saw me working on it here and there, but she asked me to read all of the things that I had written, and she also wanted me to read back the answers that she had given. Now, it's only been a few months to a year since she gave the answers, just depending on the time of year that I was asking her the questions. But she was just so amused to hear her words read back to her. And I have this quote from Julie Bogart that I'm gonna grab. This is the book, The Brave Learner by Julie Bogart. And I just wanna read a quote that I came across the other day that just reminded me of this journal. I'll put it here on the video too so you can see it. But she wrote, "The jot it down practice capitalizes on surprise. Your children don't expect their oral language to be taken so seriously that you'd write it down and read it to others. It provokes celebration, the pride of sharing. It promotes collaboration, parent and child working as a team to get the child's thoughts to the page. It engages the heart and spirit, love and meaning, all bound up into this shared experience of valuing a child's thoughts." And as I was reading that, I was just thinking, wow, I completely agree with how special writing these thoughts down is to a child. And you don't have to do it in a formal journal like this. In fact, Julie Bogart mentions grabbing anything to write on, from a napkin to an old grocery list, to jot down some random thoughts. But this is one of the big reasons that I wanted to get so many questions into this book. Yes, it's to preserve their answers, their feelings, thoughts, memories, all according to them. But also, when they are responding to these questions, it turns into a collaborative memory keeping project. And that's what makes it different from other memory keeping projects that I've done before. It's not just something that I'm doing for my daughters. It's a joint project to preserve these memories. And I just think there's something so special about that. Okay, so the last reflection that I wanted to share is that this isn't perfect. We know there's no such thing as perfect, but I have smudges, which you're gonna see in a second. I have probably misspelled words here and there, and I didn't spend as much time as I could have editing my photos so they would be at magazine quality. But it's all okay. I know that despite the many flaws, these memories are still preserved. I know that my daughter will likely not notice any of those flaws in quotes, but instead she's going to see the love and the time that was poured into this book. So if you have any worries about your journal not looking a certain way, I just want to reassure you, as I do with myself all the time, because I also need this reminder, it is really okay. In fact, it's better than okay, because like with all memory keeping projects, I'm sure you already know, you can always see your heart behind it. Okay, so I know maybe that was a little bit more thorough than you thought I was going to get on some reflections, but we're closing out a little mini series here, and so I really wanted to share my heart in this video. You can see some of these smudges that I was talking about. I wanted to share, these are some pages that you haven't seen yet. These are the add-on pages that I decided to add to my daughter's book. You can see I did 5 add-on pages, so you can kind of see what the book looks like there. But I have this birthday themed page. This is the arts and crafts page. This I actually turned into 2 different themes. I didn't have enough soccer photos from her playing last year. She was only in it for about a month, so I only have these couple of photos, and so I used this side to document her church summer camp. So I just turned this into a little flip up so I'd be able to read the journaling on the back of her postcard here. But I do have some more space here. I might end up adding in a couple of other photos. More likely than not, I'll probably just leave it how it is, but that was just one way to kind of combine it so I didn't have too much blank space. Then there's the If I Were a Superhero. She had an early edition of this add-on page, and so this is a typo. This should say If I Were a Superhero, which is totally fixed in the shop, so you don't have to worry about that. And then Graduation, which was super fun. And then the special messages. And then I did also have some extra photos that were left over, and I decided that I would just add them into the back here using a vellum envelope. You can get these at any craft store. I just used some red line tape on the edges here to adhere it to the back of the book, so it is really stuck on there. That red line adhesive is very strong. And I decided to do it that way instead of adding the photos onto some of these blank pages, because I actually love the look of having some open space. So I think if I were to do this book all over again, I might add in a couple of the dot grid pages at the end of the book, in addition to these add-on pages, just so I'd have a little bit more flexibility with the number of photos I could add in. But I am so happy with this. I hope that how I'm talking about it, my enthusiasm comes through this video. All right, so that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope this gave you some ideas, and I hope that you were able to get a good look at what one of these journals looks like fully completed. I know sometimes it can be hard to envision what it's gonna look like at the end, but this has truly been such a fun project to work on over the past couple weeks. It was a little bit more involved because I was doing it after the fact instead of doing it while the school year was going on, but definitely not impossible by any means. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to comment down below. I will also link up my shop in the description box in case you want to purchase a journal for this year or an upcoming year. And until my next video, I hope you have a great day.